Hi, I'm Poppy.
Hi, I'm Oloni.
And today we're talking about growing pains for girls.
Am I? I don't know.
So puberty can be a really tough time for girls, both physically and emotionally. There's a lot of stuff going on in your body and it's really difficult to make sense of it sometimes. Oloni, when did you first start experiencing kind of like puberty and different signs?
I just remembered I was growing hair in my armpits and I was just like, what is this?
Where is it coming from?
Where is it coming from? I didn't understand it. Like, no one had spoken to me about my body changing and me growing hair there. I just thought I was a bit weird or that I was a bit odd because why was I the only one? And if this was a normal thing, why wasn't it being discussed amongst little girls? But that was the first time I realised my body was changing. And of course, from there, hair grew in other places as well.
Getting hair on your legs, under your armpits, as you were saying, and in your pubic area. And there's so much pressure, especially on girls, to make sure that they're very clean shaven.
Yeah.
There's pressure from friends, pressure from the media, and it can be quite hard to decide what's right for you.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I've even seen on social media that more women are actually starting to celebrate and they're not allowing society to tell them what's beautiful. At the end of the day, it's your body, it's your choice. But I think it's all down to you feeling comfortable. So if you want to shave your legs because you like them feeling smooth, then shave your legs. If you can't be asked and you like it, then it's totally up to you. There's nothing wrong with it. And don't let anybody tell you different.
So around this time, there's a lot of pressure on girls to kind of look perfect, have perfect skin and kind of always be ready for kind of selfies and photos with friends and that kind of thing. But that can be so difficult kind of when you're growing, maybe you've got spots or something like that. What would you say about that?
You need to remember that your body is going through so many changes. Of course, from our body developing more to our skin going through different types of changes, just understanding that these things will pass and not to be too influenced by what we see in the magazines. You know, Kim Kardashian doesn't even look like Kim Kardashian. Everything that we see on Instagram, for example, or whatever we see on the blogs is not actually fact. And if you feel like you always have to be Instagram ready, you don't.
No one is.
No one ever is. Those who are Instagram ready usually have a team of hair and makeup behind them with someone holding like a light in the background that we don't see. We're all special and unique in our own way. I think it's just important to have that conversation when it comes to just your body changing because, of course, even when you're in secondary school, you find that everybody's body is developing at different speeds. And the boys grew and their voice deepened and women's bodies were getting curvier and boobs were developing, curves were, just coming from nowhere and hips were forming. And you'd compare yourself to other women, especially when you're in PE classes, for example. You know, we look at other women, why has she got those hips? Or how do I get, a pair of boobs like her?
Yeah, it can be so difficult, especially with things like boobs, because obviously they grow at different rates for different people. They can grow at different rates between themselves. And it can be hard when that's happening and you feel kind of like flat-chested to feel like, oh, maybe I'm not a woman enough or anything like that.
And I think that's another thing, like women also need to realise that, having boobs doesn't make you more or less of a woman or having a bigger bum doesn't make you more or less of a woman. And to understand that our bodies go through so much and the changes that happen surprise us as well because when you're 16, what has already happened to your friend at 13 is what you might be going through when you're 16 or when you're 14. And it can happen at even 18. So I think it's important to be patient with our growth as well.
It can be really difficult with periods and those kind of things because everyone starts at different times. Like if you're the first person, it can be quite hard. And then if everyone's talking about it, as you say, and you don't get it, you can feel kind of like there's something wrong with you.
Of course, yes, most definitely. I think it's just important that the conversation is had with girls and boys so they understand that, our menstrual cycle is natural and it's a part of us. And we have to deal with periods, we have to deal with our breast changing and I don't know about you, but even when I was growing up, I remember like my boobs were aching when I first started developing and you're like, ow, that...
Or when you're running in PE and you're just like, I've not got the right breath for this.
Exactly. So, or you're on a trampoline and you're like, oh, don't think I should have done that. So, it's hard being a woman, but it's the best.
So if you are worried about something that's going on in your body and you want someone to talk to, you can always talk to Childline. And we've got other videos on our channel about puberty for boys and trans puberty myths as well. Thanks so much for coming in, Oloni.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.